Hello possums, Dreymasmith here. Walking the hard path, walking a strange path today. I managed to get Silk Touch. 10 hours of AFK fishing, if you add all the sessions together. And in that last hour I got 2 Silk Touch books. But to put mending on my Silk Touch pickaxe is going to cost me, what, 24 emeralds? I've got to do better than that. And what happens if I need Silk Touch again? I have to do better than that. So we're going to fix the village. This is going to be a long-term project. We are going to move the village probably to here because clearly the desert is encroaching on that whole area and it's swallowing up the village. It's silted up the river down here. So the villagers are moving over to here. I have to terraform some of this. I want to build a villager trading hall. I want to build a villager breeder. Now I know that with 1.14 coming there'll be changes to villager mechanics. If it breaks what I've made, it breaks what I've made. Adapt and survive. In the meantime, make hay while the sun shines. So I have filled in the little pond that was there. I have to get rid of this. I've got to cut down that. This hill here I want to extend way forward because I want to put the trading hall up there and the village down here. I may leave that village intact and connect the two with a bridge. I don't know. I've got to think about it. I've got to decide what I'm doing. Anyway, enough talk. I have got a lot of terraforming to do. Well, things have changed a lot. I ended up filling in a lot more of the sort of basin valley than I meant to. I was going to just fill to there and then build the trading hall here. But as you can see from what I've laid out, I ended up planning quite a large structure and I didn't want something that big really close to the base. I mean, that is close enough and I'm still not sure I'll make it quite that big. I might cut out a bit of the front. I don't know. I've got to think about it. But that should be my motto. I should have that on a shirt. I've got to think about it. But I spent a lot of time digging away hills and putting them into the basin and taking the tops off hills and putting them into the basin and scrounging for every bit of dirt I had in chests in there and putting them in the basin. And then 2 days ago, the snapshot came out, the new one, about all the changes to villager mechanics. And I actually really like the trading changes. And while I'd said, oh, I'll just adapt it and I'll make hay while this sun shines, blah, blah, blah. Did I take my own advice? No, I spent 2 days of wondering and panicking a little bit and playing in test worlds and wondering some more and going off and building the storehouse for Smurf in Alithia because it had nothing to do with villager mechanics. So here we are the night before this is due out. And this is what I've got to show for a week's work. I've filled in a hole in the ground and I've marked something out in dirt. Well done me. And yeah, I think I will take this out. Excuse me a minute. It just makes it way too big. And we'll take it back to about here. And we'll take these ones out. These are marking bays for my villagers. Yeah, that will do. Let's have another look. Yeah, that's a bit more manageable. It's still large, but it's not quite as bad. Now, I have been playing with Tango Tech and iJevan's Villager Trading Hall. I tried adding observers to it and taking out some of the pistons and whatever, and I could always get it to half work, but my redstone knowledge isn't enough, so I've just done a little tweak, and that's what we'll go with. So, given the lateness of the time, i.e. this has to be out in the morning, I thought rather than build the whole thing and put the skin around it and whatever, we'll build 1 or 2 modules, and I'll show you what I think might work with the new changes. And if it doesn't, well, in the meantime, we'll have villagers in here, we'll be trading, and if they need their stores and accommodations upgraded, I'll rip the redstone out and do that, and just have a little manual one where they're here and they can be happy and I can be happy. So what I'm going to do now is hop off and collect what I need, and I'll come back and we'll make a villager bay. All right, I got everything together, and I built 1 bay just to see how it sits in the landscape and what I think. And it's just as well, because 1, I was going to build it too low. 2, looked fine in my test world when I was in creative and flying around, but I actually think it's too big for here, like too tall, because then I've got the building and I'm going to have a dome, and it gets too big. And here's the big one, the other problem with it. It suddenly struck me, and why didn't it strike me when I was playing with this? The villagers are going to fall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. That is going to hurt. I mean, all right, they then go down into here, and yes, that's a drop of 1, 2, 3, 4, but there'll be water at the bottom, so they'll take no damage, but they will take damage dropping from there to there. And I tried swapping this out for a sticky piston and a hay bale, which absorbs some damage, but they were still taking a fair bit. Slime blocks just dragged everything with it. Oh, and by the way, this is my solution to, they have to access, what do they call it, their occupation bench, their employment bench, whatever it is. I've got a crafting table just standing in for it at the moment, but that was my idea, that for each of their little cubicles, and the cubicle will be like this. There we go. For each of their little cubicles. Oh no, I don't want the front one. They've got their occupation bench at the front, so they can refresh their trades that way. If they need beds as well, that's when I start ripping out redstone and making little apartments at the back. But in the meantime, this isn't going to do. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's a great design for a trading hall. Tango Tech and iJevan outdid themselves when they designed it a few years back. But I can't let my villagers drop that far. I just can't do it to them. So this has been a real mess of an episode. I mean, yeah, all right. I've got this filled in. I've still got a bit more shaping to do around here. This has become very bland. I'll sort it out. I've marked out where I want the trading hall to be. I have an idea in my head of how I want it to look. But the mechanism I was going to use, I can't do it. I really can't do it. So it's back to the drawing board for me, and hopefully next week I have got a better solution. So I'm really sorry, but a mess is all I've got. On that unhappy note, I'll see you next time. I have got a lot of thinking and experimenting to do. Bye.